I'm starting to really develop or really put into process that fuck you mentality, for lack of a better term, of like, fuck you, I'm stronger. Fuck you, I'm faster. Fuck you, you're not gonna touch me. There is definitely like a strong mental aspect of that you're kind of starting to develop. You've been developing it pretty much the whole week leading up to the fight, but it really starts to come out in that in that walk out to the ring. I've only got like 2 more fights before I reach A class. And then I'm like, all right, we'll maybe do 1 or 2 fights and see if I can get an agreement with no gear. And then I think I'm gonna probably call it at that. Because like, just like, especially with this camp, I was like, I'm getting too old to keep fucking putting, every camp gets a little harder because I'm just a little bit older. My name's Nathan. I'm an active fighter training out of Toronto Kickboxing and Muay Thai in Toronto. I also manage Toronto Kickboxing and Muay Thai gym at St. Clair and Dufferin. I'm also a personal trainer. I've been training for 12, 13 years now, give or take, and I have 12 fights, soon to be 13. This training camp is been quite rough. This is a pretty high impact sport, so if you do this for a while, you're gonna end up with some injuries. There's no healthy way to get punched in the face. The whole kind of focus of this training camp has been like pushing a very, very high pace, lots of volume. The idea is like for amateur fights, you only have 2 minutes to, score. So if you fall behind for even a second, like that can kind of cost you the fight. So we've been doing a lot of Shark Tanks, which is basically like one guy stays in and everybody else you're training with just gets to kind of run around and beat the crap out of you for a minute. So we did a lot of Shark Tanks so far for this camp, just to kind of build up the endurance and get used to like that volume and the idea that like even when you're tired, you're just gonna have to like just go for it. Just beat it into your body so much that you can't forget it even if you tried. I mean, I'm feeling a little low energy right now, but I mean, the idea is I take today and then tomorrow I get back on the horse and, I go right back at it 110%,
So this is his last training session. You've been doing everything that we've asked you to do, you've done. Now, if you step in there and you wet the bed, I got a lot to say to Steph. I'll tell you, because my goal is to have my C class.
If you talk to other people, they'll probably tell you I'm not very nice. The week leading up to it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's the last of the training. You're not pushing yourself super hard, just kind of making sure everything stays loose. Maybe some light pad work. I might hit a sauna just to make sure that I can, still eat and recover without having to worry about going overweight. There's some nerves definitely leading up to it, but that's never a bad thing. A little bit of nervousness, kind of keeps you on your toes. So just the biggest thing is just not letting it overwhelm you. There's a lot of visualization too that kind of goes into it, picturing how or just trying to, figure out how you're gonna feel. But that's also kind of the whole point of the training camp, is to give you that more realistic, experience and trying to train you to know exactly how it's gonna feel when you get in there. Nerves, day of, 110%. But again, the biggest thing is, trusting your training, trusting your coaches that are there with you, and you've done the work. Win, lose, or draw, you're there to fight. So making sure those nerves don't necessarily overwhelm you and you're in control when you step in. Oh man, emotions going through my head during the fight. When I was first fighting, it was like a blur. Like you get into the ring, your adrenaline is going, and then you get out of the ring and then it's like, what just happened? Now that I've been doing this for a while, there's definitely like, it's hard to say in the sense of like, you don't necessarily want to be thinking, because you don't want to be thinking about what am I gonna throw, because by the time you've decided, the other guy's already hit you like 5 times. There's a strategy that you want to be thinking about, in the sense of like, I have to move. I have to be in and out. I have to counter, like the timing aspect. That's some of the stuff that you want to be thinking about. As far as the thinking about, like, that should all, everything you're throwing, everything else should be instinctual. You want to be thinking general thoughts when you're doing this, not specific thoughts, if that makes sense. Emotion-wise is just, for me, it's like, we're here to fight, so bite down on that mouth guard and let's go.
Man, this might be something lethal. Yeah, this might be something lethal.
Welcome to the valley, it'll eat you alive. It'll hit you out of nowhere like a thief in the night. Ain't no way you can hide, it came seeking a fight. Push the pedal to the metal, better keep up the stride. Keep up the pace, this is a rage, we gon' light up this place. Please make some space, or move out the way. Come in with pressure and smacks in the face. Something lethal, like a beast that can't be tamed. This the kind of rage you can't contain. Yeah, this might be something lethal. You can really feel the flames, feeling like it's borderline insane.
Man, this might be something lethal. Yeah, 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 this might be something lethal.
Depends on whether you want to lose. I mean, like, actually, and you know what, I shouldn't even say that. It depends, I think, on, like, if you were able to put on the display that you feel you're capable of. I've won fights where it was like, it went exactly as planned and you did exactly what you were supposed to do and you won because of it, and that is a great feeling. But then I've lost fights where it was like, I wasn't able to display what I wanted to do. I wasn't able to sort of like show my skill and technique because of, you know, either nerves or whatever the reason may be. And that's a pretty like crappy feeling, you know, coming out of it and thinking that like I could have or should have done better. But regardless, there is like a little bit of like not necessarily a relief, but now it's like you get like a week of a break kind of idea, depending on how fast you're gonna go into your next camp. Okay, now at least I get a little bit of a time where I can relax mentally.
Unanimous decision. Your winner, fighting out of